because I do this time after time after time. I do all this shit for other people. And then I wake up and I'm empty. I have nothing.
I mean, shit, to be honest with you, man, she's a
bad things, fine as hell, thick as fuck, oh my god, that's my baby, Caroline.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another hair therapy session, a place where wig installs and mental health coexist together. For today's session, I want to just talk about people pleasing, because I am a recovering people pleaser, and just share some things that I've just been realizing that's been really helping me get out of this people pleasing mindset, and hopefully this can help some of my fellow people pleasers, my PP sufferers out there. So with that said, let's sit back, relax, unwind, get into today's session. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. So the sponsor of today's video is Asteria Hair Company. They sent me a 5x5 26-inch water wave wig, and it was 250% density, and all of these specs gets the wig equaling $376 in total. I have the link and everything down below if you're interested in purchasing this wig. The unit did come pre-bleached. It says pre-plucked, but honestly, I had to really do more of the plucking myself, but the knots were properly pre-bleached. So it was one of those ready to install out of the box type of wigs. But with that said, let me go ahead and install this wig, and let's get right back to our little therapy chit-chat session. Are you someone who constantly goes out of your ways to help others? Do you find yourself feeling like you give and give but never receive? Do people around you often say, oh my gosh, you're so nice, or you're too nice? And maybe, are you even the peacemaker among your family? And lastly, do you find yourself after having all these social interactions just feeling really drained and having to hide and isolate yourself? If yes, then my love, you might just be a people pleaser just like me. The Webster definition of people pleasing is a person who has an emotional need to please others, even at the expense of their own needs and desires. Keywords being at the expense of their own needs and desires. I've always seen myself as a really nice person, sometimes a little bit too nice. I always felt like I'm so understanding. I have so much compassion, so much empathy for others. Like literally, I'm someone who does not hold grudges if you've done me wrong, because I felt like, oh, I understand why you did it. I get it. Humans are not perfect. Like, that was me. Even in my family, I grew up in a Nigerian family. I am the firstborn daughter in a very strict traditional home. I am seen as a peacemaker in my family because, I always try my best to make sure I'm doing as much as possible what my parents are asking for, even if it meant something I do not want to do or that's not who I am. I still would do things for others to make them happy, make them comfortable, get their validation, even if it meant making myself unhappy. And at first, I was like, oh, it just means I'm like a very compassionate, selfless person. Like, I wish everyone was as selfless and compassionate as me. I always said this thing saying to my friends that I need me a Caroline. I need someone who's going to treat me just as great as I treat others. But see, all these great, lovely, sweet, compassionate things and acts of kindness I was doing for the world, it was coming at a price for myself, especially after I graduated college and I'm living by myself. I was starting to just really feel empty and alone and feeling like I do all these things for others or I please everyone, but no one seems concerned about pleasing me. So naturally at first, I went with the victim role. I started feeling like people were taking me for granted. I was being manipulated. Everyone just sees how kind I am and they're trying to take me for a ride, Oh my gosh, I'm the nicest person in the world. How can I be the issue? If I feel sadness or anything, it's not me, it's people around me. But this brings me to my very first point and lesson that I had to learn in recovery of being a people pleaser, is that sometimes, yes, you are the problem, and yes, you are the drama. What really helped me snap out of my people-pleasing mindset was realizing that my behavior, even though it was with the best intentions, was manipulative and honestly toxic. Not just toxic to those around me, but toxic to myself. There's this girl on TikTok that was randomly just ranting about people she stays away from. And one of them, she was like, I stay away from people pleasers because they're manipulators. And at first, I got so offended. I was like, excuse me? If anything, people pleasers, they are the victims of narcissists, or people who take from us because we're so giving, because, I'm a giver. But I just want to start off by saying that people pleasers can be manipulative. That doesn't mean they're manipulators, At the same time, I feel like people pleasing is a form of unconscious manipulation. Whenever I was putting others' needs in front of my own, even if it was for the betterment of the group or the betterment of the world, whatever it may be, either it was to create peace or to be liked, to be accepted, those actions was me trying to control the outcome of a situation, which is manipulation. For example, all the times that I would say yes, mommy, or yes, daddy, to whatever my parents are asking me to do, either it was go back to school or get this type of degree or just do things that really wasn't me. Because I know once I start to argue, voice my opinion, all those things, it's gonna cause chaos in my house. And I just felt like there's already chaos going on around me, so my only duty in my household was to be the peacemaker. But see, this was manipulating the situation, because I'm now putting their needs over my own just to make peace for myself. But honestly, it ends up not even being peace, because now, long term, you end up having an internal drama and chaos inside your own home, which is like your brain. Once you people please long enough, it starts to come to a toxic point, an internal toxic relationship with yourself, as well as a toxic relationship with those around you. But first, we talk about how it's toxic to you and yourself together. Because now every time that I'm putting someone's needs and wants in front of myself, I'm literally just reducing my self-worth. I'm showing myself that what I want, what I need, what I desire does not matter as much as what everybody else needs and desires outside of myself. That basically I'm sacrificing myself for others. And that just kind of like messes with you inside. I feel like some of my insecurities and self-doubts really came as well from being a people pleaser, because I don't know what I want. I'm not even learning how to please myself. And that's really the thing. I feel like as a people pleaser, we're so concerned about losing everyone around us. But I feel like you need to take a moment and realize the person you should be most afraid about losing is yourself. When it got to a point where I was like, what do I like? What do I want to do? I thought it was just slow, or I don't know, something was off with me, because I never knew what I liked, what I truly wanted to do, what I wanted to be. And of course, we all have these same questions, what is our purpose? But mine just felt like different. I didn't have a clue. That's because my whole identity wasn't even me. It was what people were placing upon me, and I was accepting it because I wanted them to accept me. You get? And this brings me to the other half of the toxic relationship that you have being a people pleaser. It's toxic to those around you. Because I feel like as a people pleaser, you're also being fake. Like, it's fake. You're disgenuine. And the idea of me being a fake person at first kind of like makes me feel like, what? Fake? I'm so genuine. I'm so sweet. Those are not the same thing, babes. As someone who's a people pleaser, it means like whenever you say yes, internally you want to say no. Everything you're telling to everyone, you're kind of just mirroring back what they want to hear to make them happy. Which, of course, is very fake. But in an even more deeper sense, I feel like as a people pleaser, it's so easy for us to be in a victim mindset, like, oh, people are taking me for granted, which sometimes, yes, that definitely does happen. People can sense when you're a giver and they'll try to take away from you. But at the same time, if you never wanted to say yes, why did you say yes in the first place? If you wanted, I feel like I had to realize that I couldn't get mad at people taking me for granted or treating me a certain way, when honestly, it kind of was my fault in the first place. I'm over here agreeing or disagreeing with things that I never wanted to do. So people are acting accordingly to what I've said. So not all the times that things have went wrong or I have felt resentment towards someone was it really their fault. They were only just working off what I had given them, because I generally said yes. An even better example, or even another example, family example. I've always for the longest gone along with whatever my parents wanted to do, because, first daughter, African family, who am I to be shaking shit up, right? Wrong. So as of recent, I've started just like doing things that are not in my character, and my parents have been just so confused, so shocked. And at first I was like, why are y'all confused? Why are you shocked? This is who I am. But now that I'm reflecting on it, I realized they don't know who this girl is. You've never been this person. You've never been your true, authentic self. Like, yeah, for sure, there wasn't the way I was raised, I wasn't even really allowed to, there wasn't a safe space for me to show who I was. So I always felt like I had to be what they wanted me to be. But now that I see my siblings being exactly who they are authentically, I realized I should have just been who I was. I should have just done what I wanted to do, say what I wanted to say, and let them do the work of accepting me, not me accepting them. That's just, I hope that makes sense. But long story short, once I finally realized that I was a problem, in a sense, not like I have a problem, like I was adding to the problem, and that what I'm doing was toxic and it is manipulative, even if I meant the best, that kind of like helped me get in my mindset, because, you know, I still am a good person. So realizing that my actions were bad inherently, that was the first thing that really helped me just snap out of this idea of I'm making everyone happy. If I make everyone happy, I'm going to be a great person. No, you're actually making everyone confused and you're making yourself confused. So that is first thing. So really, in summary, to my people pleasers out there, you do not have to earn anyone's acceptance, anyone's love, anyone's validation, none of that. You just have to be yourself. Being your true, authentic self is going to get you so far in the long run. I feel like at first, being yourself and just working on pleasing yourself and doing things that you want to do, I'm not going to lie to you. At first, it's going to cause some ruffles, okay? People are going to be confused. People are going to try to change you, try to say they're going to leave you. It's not going to be easy at first, trust me. But it's going to get you so much further in the long run, because now you have a sense of who you are. You trust yourself. You love yourself. I feel like that's like the biggest thing I'm really learning in life, is that trusting and loving and pleasing myself should have always been really my first priority. And that's kind of everyone else's priority. I just haven't really gotten on. I'm just a late bloomer, and I'm getting on the train, the self-love train, a little bit late. But it's okay, better late than never. But having those fundamental skills of having your back truly 100%, it's gonna get you more friends than people pleasing. It's gonna get you more acceptance than people pleasing. Being genuine to yourself is gonna do so much more than what I thought being a people pleaser was doing for me, you know? So with that said, I just want to say to my girls and boys out there, have those arguments. Talk your shit. Someone makes you upset, say that. And if they don't like you, well, then they were never your friend. Because I feel like I always say, if someone gets mad at you for expressing how you feel and they leave you for those reasons, then that person doesn't like you. They don't. Because how are you going to get upset because I'm upset? I'm sorry I have feelings, you know what I'm saying? And if you take anything from this like little mental health rant, I just wanted to say the very first person you have to worry about pleasing, because being a people pleaser, I feel like kind of like how like depression, they always say you can't get healed from depression. You just know how to work with it and cope with it. Same thing with people pleasing. I feel like I'll always have an innate need to want to please people, but I always tell myself, first, make sure I'm pleasing myself. Before I please anyone else, have I pleased myself? Make sure I have filled my cup up to the fullest. Make sure my cup is even overflowing. And it's that overflow that I'm pouring into others. And that's kind of where I am right now in life. I feel like once I've realized these things, once I realized my cup was empty, negative, rock bottom, I've been really just taking a lot of my time now to create peace in my life, to find acceptance with myself, please me, and just fill my cup to the point where it's going to overflow and I have so much to give, because I love to give. It's who I am. It's my nature. I'm not going to let anything take that from me. But I needed to learn how to give without taking away from myself. But we've made it to the end of our install, our session, my rant. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me. I hope this was helpful, insightful, just entertaining regardless. And I'll see you guys in another one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And peace out, Girl Scouts. Goodbye.